Welcome back. I'm Chris from CV Tech, and I've been using the iPhone X for about 6 months now, and here are my thoughts. The iPhone X is running the A11 chip, and it has been performing amazing. Whether it's scrolling through Instagram or playing a graphically intense game such as Fortnite, the iPhone X has been performing amazing. And also, Face ID works pretty well. Not quite as fast as Touch ID, but it works on almost every occasion and is definitely not an off-putting selling point. So now onto the display. One of the biggest features of the iPhone X and one of the main reasons why somebody would buy the iPhone X over something like the iPhone 8. And I know all of you are asking about the notch, and is it a big deal? Well, no, not really. Most of the time when scrolling through things like Instagram, you really don't notice it. But here's the thing. It's a big deal when you're watching video. You can either have the video pretty small and then not have the notch being cut out, or you can zoom in, like pinch and zoom in, and the video will be filling the whole screen, but there'll be a notch in the way. And that's just something, you can't get around that. It's just something you'll have to think about when buying the iPhone X. And if you do a whole lot of media consumption, and that's one of the main things you want to use this for, I would recommend maybe going with something like the iPhone 8 Plus. Furthermore, the color performance is actually amazing. I've experienced almost no blue shift, which is when you tilt an OLED display, typically they'll kind of be a bit bluer, but I've experienced almost none of that. Also, the iPhone X is the first Apple iPhone to use something called True Tone, which means the display acts much like paper. When you put it underneath a different colored light, different temperature, like a much oranger light or a much whiter light, it'll change the whites, much like a piece of paper. And this is actually great. I absolutely love it, because it makes the phone feel a lot more natural, and like when you're reading in bed at night, it actually seems to strain my eyes less. Okay, so now I have to talk about the specs of the camera, because I'm a tech YouTuber and I have to talk about that stuff. So all you really need to know is that there are two cameras. The first of which is a wide angle, which shoots at an aperture of f1.8, and the second is a telephoto, giving you a 2x zoom and an aperture of f2.4. The main wide-angle camera looks amazing in that f1.8 aperture allows for pretty nice depth of field. Now onto the telephoto, which has an f2.4 aperture and doesn't do as good of a job in low light, or have as nice of a depth of field, but all of this changes with portrait mode. So, portrait mode. How does it hold up? Honestly, pretty well, but you can judge for yourself. Sometimes, especially when using portrait mode on objects, the edge detection doesn't work the best. But selfie portrait mode is a whole nother story. It seems to always mess up on the hair and ends up making your hair look kind of messy and blurry. So if the reason you're buying the iPhone X is for selfie portrait mode, I would think again. But normal selfies look pretty good, but who really cares about that? So now onto the design. Overall, the design is aged amazing. Whether it's the beautiful glass back or the stainless steel edges that wrap around the whole phone, or the futuristic display, it still is and looks like Apple's flagship phone, and you can't go wrong buying it today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and like if you liked the video. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.